the mighty warrior Bermot and his 4 companions embarked on a perilous journey towards the dreaded city of Hellmode, where a demon king awaited their arrival. Having already vanquished 3 of the 5 demon kings, only 2 remained standing in their way. As they ventured deeper into the treacherous dungeon, they were confronted by hordes of menacing demons. With a single swift motion, Bermot effortlessly dispatched them all. We're introduced to Senya, a wise sorceress who used her magical abilities to create a path for the group. Anise, the skilled healer, made her first appearance, offering prayers for the group's well-being. Unbeknownst to her, a monstrous creature lurked behind her. Without hesitation, she swiftly decapitated the beast. A thunderous roar echoed through the air as the corpses of the defeated monsters soared into the sky, showcasing the immense strength of the team. Suddenly, a peculiar man named Hamill appeared, dashing past Marone, the epitome of brute strength. Hamill shouted, "Burn you, scoundrel! I told you not to leave me behind. Get out of my way." As he mercilessly slaughtered dozens of demons, it became evident that Hamill harbored deep-seated jealousy towards Bermot, even considering him a rival. However, no one else shared this sentiment, as it was clear that Hamill was living in a delusion. In the end, the entire team stood united in victory. However, their moment of respite was short-lived, as Hamill remarked that it seemed all their enemies had been vanquished. Suddenly, he called out Bermot's name.
Huh?
A sword pierced through his chest, sacrificing his own life to protect Bermot. Shock and grief washed over everyone as they witnessed Hamill's fall. Before them stood a demon, its sword still lodged in Hamill's lifeless body. With a blood-curdling scream, the demon launched an attack towards Bermot. Unfazed by the loss of his comrade, Bermot swiftly evaded the strike and charged towards the enemy. With a powerful swing, he cleaved the demon in half, leaving no trace of its existence. The team rushed to Hamill's side, tears streaming down their faces as they mourned his untimely demise. Bermot expressed his regret, telling Hamill that he didn't have to die in such a manner. In a jesting tone, Hamill replied that this honorable death was enough for him. In his final moments, Hamill's regret weighed heavily on his heart. He wished he had been honest with his comrades in the past, but now it was too late. With his remaining strength, he reached out his hands and made a desperate plea to Bermot. He asked him to promise that he would vanquish all the demon kings, a task that Hamill himself could no longer fulfill. Bermot, a true warrior, swore on his name that he would fulfill Hamill's request. He vowed to slay every single one of those demon kings, honoring his fallen comrade's final wish. Hamill's face lit up with a bittersweet smile as he turned to Anise and asked her to pray for his soul. The entire team broke down, their emotions overwhelming them. Then, Hamill turned to Marone and expressed his admiration for him, acknowledging him as the bravest warrior he had ever known. Lastly, he turned to Senya and confessed that he had always harbored feelings of fondness for her. These heartfelt words hung in the air, a testament to the deep bonds forged through their shared battles. However, their moment of reflection was abruptly interrupted by a sudden noise. A white-haired man stood before them, holding a storybook. He scoffed at Hamill's words, claiming that he would never say such things. He expressed his frustration at how the storybook always portrayed Hamill as foolish, while the rest of the team was hailed as great warriors. The man pondered whether the writer of the story had a personal bias against Hamill. He even wondered if the writer could be someone he had defeated in battle centuries ago. Frustrated, he tossed the book aside, questioning why his comrades had never thought to protect his honor in death. Little did they know that Hamill had been reincarnated as Eugene Lionheart, a descendant of the legendary warrior Bermot. However, despite carrying the Lionheart name, Eugene was considered a distant relative due to the rules surrounding his lineage. He had spent years training with wooden swords, forbidden from using real weapons or harnessing mana until the day of the blood confirmation. Tomorrow would finally be that day, the day when Eugene would be free to embrace his true potential. Eugene embarks on his final training session with his sword, determined to leave a lasting impression. With a flurry of swift slashes, he obliterates the training dummy, causing it to crumble at the feet of an intrigued onlooker, his father. His father, amazed yet again by Eugene's prowess, remarks that it's hard to believe his 13-year-old son possesses such skill. Eugene, deep in thought, contemplates how badly he would fare against his father in an unarmed fight. Despite being his son, Eugene's mature demeanor and lack of innocence in his eyes make him appear anything but a child. Frustrated with the broken dummy, Eugene vents his anger, criticizing the blacksmith who crafted it and vowing to give him a piece of his mind if he were his father. Sensing his son's frustration, Eugene's father reminds him that tomorrow is a significant day, the blood confirmation. The blood confirmation, a time-honored tradition of the Lionheart family held every decade, gathers all relatives aged 10 to 15 at the main manor to compete for the prestigious Lionheart name. However, unlike the distant relatives, the direct descendants have the privilege of training with real weapons and mana, placing the distant relatives at a significant disadvantage. This realization infuriates Eugene, as he understands that this handicap is designed to ensure the direct descendants always outshine their distant relatives. His father acknowledges Eugene's exceptional skill, finding it hard to believe that he is his own son, as he lacks any talent himself. Placing a hand on Eugene's shoulder, his father pleads with him not to compete against the main family, fearing for his safety. Eugene, though promising his father, can't help but think how absurd this request is. He wonders if his father truly wants him to suffer from sheer boredom, competing against a group of 10-year-olds. As the blood confirmation approaches, Eugene learns that there will be 3 participants from the main family and 6 from the distant relatives. The stage is set for a fierce competition, where Eugene must prove his worth against both his peers and the unfair advantage bestowed upon the direct descendants. Distance, brandishing a sword. Overjoyed at the sight, he races towards him, eager to reunite with his beloved parent. However, his happiness is short-lived, as he soon realizes that the figure before him is not his father, but rather the same organ they had encountered earlier, cunningly transforming into the form of their father. In a horrifying turn of events, the organ seizes Bota, dragging him towards an impending doom. With death staring him in the face, Bota musters his final strength and calls out for his father one last time, desperately hoping for salvation. In a heroic act, Bota's father swiftly slices the organ in two, freeing his son from its clutches. As Bota is pulled to safety, his father pierces the monster's back, ensuring their escape. Finally, father and son are reunited, with Bota safely cradled in his father's arms, their bond stronger than ever. With fury burning in his eyes, he issues a stern command to the monstrous creature, "Stay away from my son." The father and the beast lock eyes, locked in a tense standoff. Instructing Bota to seek shelter behind the rocks, he prepares to face this colossal adversary. As he gazes upon the immense size of the leviathan, he realizes it may even surpass the legendary Scutum in magnitude. Determined and resolute, he banishes any trace of doubt from his mind, reminding himself that failure is not an option. The lives of his children, Bota and Lita, hang in the balance. Tightening his grip on his sword, he charges towards the monster, narrowly evading its swinging attack with only a minor scratch. Staying close to the creature, he thrusts his sword into its arm, inflicting a deep gash. Summoning every ounce of his strength, he unleashes a relentless onslaught of slashes, tearing through the leviathan's arm as it howls in agony. The monster attempts to seize him once more, but this time he anticipates its move and leaps, landing atop its arm. Swiftly, he makes his way towards the creature's head, observing that despite its immense size, the monster's movements are sluggish. He takes advantage of this weakness. Soaring through the air, he delivers a powerful two-handed swing, driving his sword deep into the monster's skull. The force of his strike creates a massive laceration as the sword slices through the flesh under his weight. In that moment, a thought crosses his mind. If the monster is outside the water, perhaps he stands a chance at victory. Sensing danger, he kicks the beast and gracefully flips away to safety. However, as he lands, He is struck by the monster's attack, sending him hurtling into the debris of a crumbling building. Agonizing screams escape his lips as blood fills his mouth. Oda watches in terror, desperately calling out for his father. The injured dad watches in terror as the monstrous creature inches closer and closer towards him. His heart pounding, he frantically scans his surroundings for any means of escape. And then, he spots a pulley contraption within arm's reach. With a surge of adrenaline, he seizes the opportunity and cuts the pulley just in the nick of time. As the leviathan lunges forward, the dad clings desperately to a nearby pole, his grip slipping with each passing second. The creature, driven solely by its insatiable hunger for destruction, begins its ascent towards him, its jaws wide open. Summoning every ounce of strength within him, the dad wrenches the pole off the wall. With death staring him in the face, he hurls himself towards the monster, the pole held firmly in his hand like a fearless warrior charging into battle. The pole finds its mark, piercing the monster's head, and a spray of blood fills the air. Ota, witnessing this incredible feat, watches